On this episode of Game Shack, hell freezes over as Arcade1up has finally sent me a replacement PCB for my Tron game. I'm going to show you guys how to replace a PCB if you need to, and give you a couple of tips on what to do to make sure this doesn't happen. Wish me luck. Coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome on back into the Game Shack. I'm your host, JDV for Evil Genius Entertainment. Thanks for stopping by. It means a lot to us. If you're new here, hey, welcome on in. And if you're a longtime viewer, thank you so much. As always, I encourage you guys to comment down below, ask questions, anything like that. We have a great community here on this channel, so be sure to take advantage of that. All right, for anybody who has watched the channel for a while, you know that one of the videos I did is my Tron is dead PCB. It overheated, and I'll show you why in a second. But the end result is that once these PCBs go, of course, that's it. These are the guts, the brains of your Arcade1up and Basic Fun or any other kind of machine really. They all run on these very small little printed chipsets. And so what happens is that these are screwed in, of course, to the back of your monitor. But the problem is, if you look at these PCBs, there's no ventilation at all, just none. These are kind of like steel coffins for these PCBs. So if you have a game that runs hot or you're in a hot environment or whatever, there's no place for that heat to go. So if you have a game that's acting up on the fritz or just straight dead, that is probably the reason why, as long as you've checked everything else like power supplies and whatnot. Now, Arcade1up did not send me this PCB out of the generosity of their hearts. No, they charged me $120 for it. Now, for like a used Pac-Man game or something like that, that's probably not worth it because you can get almost mint one of those things for $300-400. Heck, you can order it brand new deluxe for I think $5 right now because they have a sale. But for a game like Tron that is going for $1,000 easy on eBay, heck, dead versions of this are going for $800 or more. It makes sense, and also it makes sense because I want this game. I want to be able to play this game. It's very hard to play Tron in the real world, like a real world version of the Tron, just because those are 40-plus-year-old machines at this point, and they die. And one of the things I love about Arcade1up and the 3/4 scale arcade shape in general is that they are smaller. You can put more games, so this does have Disc of Tron. So you're technically getting 2 games, so that's 2 in the price of 1. Better deal than me trying to find a real Tron, rehabilitating it and putting it in. Also, I don't have the space for a real Tron, so I really kind of need this to work. So this is what they sent me. It looks like it's going to be the right PCB, but we'll find out here. Let me put the camera down, open it up, and I'll show it to you. All right, so here we go. This is how it comes packaged. All right, so they don't send you the metal shell. They expect you to put that back into the metal shell. I don't even know if I'm going to do that. I got to think about it. There you go, Tron. Just to be sure that I don't damage the new board in any way, I've unplugged it from the machine itself. And of course you have to unplug all of these wires. Now my real question to my own self is, should I put it back in this metal shell? And I think I will, just to make sure it's got a little bit more protection. And it'll isolate it a little bit from that. So for that, you're going to need some Phillips head screwdriver. Looks like there's just 4 screws that hold this thing in, so let me grab that. Just undid this little wire. You can leave this screwed in because why not? So don't undo that. Really, you just need to get this out. And this is not proving to be the easiest thing in the world here. I'm going to use a little old person strength there. I don't see any other screws holding it in. All right, there she comes. Okay, so I've gone ahead and took out the old one, put in the new PCB, leave this thing screwed in. All right, no reason to unscrew it, and just replace that little wire there. And it's just the 4 screws. And then it should be as simple as just putting the wires back into it. And hopefully it fires up and runs, and hopefully this is what was wrong with it. I don't know what else could be wrong with it. It made a terrible, terrible whining sound. Check out my video on the death of my Tron game. You know, the way to prevent this from happening is simply not screwing it back on. the way that it was. What you want to do is, what I'm going to do, and what I have already done to all of my other Arcade1ups, is simply flip the box from, you know, that position to the open position. And that should provide plenty of air. Also, I tend not to keep the wood backs of my Arcade1ups on. I tend to keep them off both so I can get in there and get at things if I need to. And also because it just makes it have a little bit more ventilation. Well, maybe on a game like Pac-Man, Galaga, Galaxian, you don't need that, but for some of the more high-powered games like Terminator 2, Tron, it does make a certain sense. Fast and the Furious, it would make a lot of sense to do that with. All right, so there we go. We're all in. It should work. Hopefully I put it in the right board and didn't just put in the old one, because I have done that before. Okay, so there is everything put back together. The trickiest part, of course, they're not all the same, but I think most Arcade1up games, the red is on the outside on both of these. Now this has got a kind of clips or whatever, so the guides, so you can't really put that one in wrong, but you could put that one in wrong. So I'm pretty sure it is red pointing outward and the blue on the inside, and that's based on the video that they sent me. So if this fries, this is on them because the video said to keep the red on the outside. There'll be a link to that video down below. All right, so everything is rehooked up as good as I can see. Oh, wait, what's this now? What have we here? Oh, let's see, where do you go? Where do you go? I don't know where this goes. All right, well, oh, there it goes. This is gonna have to go here. And again, this has got one of those, can't really put it in wrong type designs. That little groove there is gonna go to the front. So I'll put that in. Also, I got a hook in this. All right, so it's not 100%. All right, so this will go here. Same kind of thing. You almost can't put this thing in wrong. The only one that you can really put in wrong is this. So hopefully I didn't. All right, let me finish wiring this thing up. I'm gonna turn it around and fire it up, and you'll be with me when I do that. All right, one more second. All right, let's see if she fires up. Oh, this is not good. Do one thing. So if you have to do this with your Tron game, the red actually goes towards the other red. So not on the right hand side like they show in the video, but the exact opposite. So let's see if that'll come into focus there. See how I have that? That's how you have to do it. Red towards, well, the other red. The other one you can't really mess up because it has the little grooves. This one you can. Okay, so the red goes towards the left, away from the input for the Wi-Fi. Okay, moment of truth. Let's fire it up. That looks promising. This is not lighting, but I'll deal with that in a little bit. Yeah, baby. All right. Okay, there you go. Tron lives again. All right, man. So this is very cool for me because obviously this is an awesome game. I forgot that this front panel even lit up. Okay, so there you go. Tron is fixed. And it took over a year to get Arcade1up to respond to me, but they finally did. And they did have the PCB in stock, and it did eventually work, even though when I followed their instructions, those instructions were wrong. You know, so they don't do great over there with customer service in my opinion. But hey, they're still in business, and I got this, and now my machine works. So my suggestions are this: you install that PCB, the iron or steel box around it, you flip it around, and I would say to do that on every Arcade1up or Basic Fun machine if it has the same basic design. Anything that has a steel shroud around the PCB is a bad design inherently. Flip it around, you shouldn't have any problems. Number two is, this last couple of years has proven that Arcade1up may or may not stay in business. And if they don't, where are you going to get these things? So if you do have a machine that you absolutely love, like Tron or a Dragon's Lair or something like that, you might think about getting an extra PCB, because with that, you can make the whole show run. Without that PCB, you're dead in the water. So just something to think about. All right, if you dig this kind of content, give me a thumbs up, please. It really does help the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell if you do. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the Game Shack. Mwah! See you around, and the Game Shack will have Tron in it next time. All right.
Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.